Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. You know the drill. You're here because you love getting to the heart of complex stuff without wading through tons of fluff.
And that's exactly what we do.
Absolutely. Today, we're diving deep into some fascinating material you all sent us, excerpts from the first chapter of The Son of the Brahmin. We're talking ancient India, a young man named Siddhartha.
Right at the start of his journey.
Yeah. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, what's the big picture here? What are we hoping to understand about Siddhartha in this deep dive?
So basically, we're trying to figure out what's eating this guy. He seems to have it all, but there's this underlying discontent. Why? And then, bam, he makes this huge decision to walk away from everything. We're going to unpack why he does that and what it all means using those great analytical questions you guys sent in alongside the actual text.
Yeah, that's what makes this so cool. We're not just reading a story, we're like actively thinking about it. Okay, so Siddhartha. At the beginning, it seems like he's got the perfect life.
Right out of the gate, yeah. He's this good-looking guy, son of a well-respected Brahmin priest. He's smart, learns quickly, and everyone loves him. The book really lays it on thick about how ideal he is.
Totally. His dad is bursting with pride. His mom is just blissful. Even the young women in their community have a thing for him. He's excelling in his religious studies, having these deep philosophical talks with his buddy Govinda. He's even mastered the silent recitation of the sacred Om. From the outside, it's like, dude, you've won.
You'd think so, right? But, and this is where it gets interesting, he's just not happy. He's got all this outward success and praise, but Siddhartha himself found no delight in himself.
Oh, that's heavy.
Right. It's this crucial point. He's missing something. He's missing genuine joy. And you know what? It's all the religious teachings and texts, all the stuff he's been studying since he was a kid. It's making him question everything. The more he learns, the less satisfied he becomes. It's almost ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like all this knowledge isn't actually giving him what he needs. It's almost backfiring.
Yeah.
And the text really highlights that, doesn't it? It talks about this growing sense he has that the wisdom of the Brahmins, while impressive, isn't the end-all be-all. Like they don't have all the answers.
So don't, at least not for him.
Right.
He feels incomplete. Remember that line. The vessel was not full, the spirit was not content, the soul was not calm, the heart was not satisfied. I mean, that hits you right in the feels, you know. It perfectly captures his inner turmoil.
It does. It's visceral. So what's at the root of this turmoil?
His obsession with the Atman.
Ah, the Atman. That's a big one. So for our listeners who might not be totally familiar, can you give us a quick rundown?
Sure. The Atman is basically like the true self, the innermost essence of a person. It's the unchanging, eternal soul that's one with the universe. That's the basic idea. And Siddhartha's grappling with this huge question, but where was this self, this innermost part, this ultimate part? It was not flesh and bone. It was neither thought nor consciousness. He understands it intellectually, but he can't actually experience it. Like he's missing a piece of the puzzle. And that's what's driving him crazy, that nobody seems to know how to find it, how to really connect with it.
It's like he's missing the instruction manual. He knows the concept, but he doesn't know how to apply it to his own life. He's got the theory, but not the practice.
Exactly. And this ties into one of the questions that came up a lot about the difference between Atman, self with a capital S, self with a lowercase s, set ego.
Right. We got a bunch of questions about that.
Yeah, it can be tricky, but it's important. So the text itself doesn't define all these terms the way we might in modern psychology or whatever, but Siddhartha's wrestling with the ideas, right? He gets Atman, that's the universal eternal thing. But he seems to be looking for something more personal, too, a deeper understanding of his own individual being, going beyond the intellectual concept of Atman.
So more than just knowing, he wants to feel it, to live it.
Exactly.
And how does this self, the one he is searching for, differ from the ego?
Okay, so think of the ego as that outward identity, the one that's shaped by our experiences, our roles in society, all that stuff. It's like the mask we wear for the world. The self that Siddhartha is seeking seems to be something deeper, something more essential.
The real deal, beyond all the masks.
Precisely.
So this brings up another interesting point. Is Siddhartha just going through a phase?
Right.
Like, is this just a typical young guy rebelling against his parents and wanting to find his own way in the world? I mean, he has a pretty sweet life as a Brahmin son. Why not just chill and enjoy it?
That's a great question. And one of you brought up this Emerson quote where he says that discontent is like a lack of self-reliance, a weakness of will.
Right. I remember that one.
But honestly, I don't think that applies to Siddhartha at all. His discontent isn't about being afraid of responsibility or not wanting to grow up. He's not lacking confidence or anything like that. He's questioning everything, yeah, but he's also incredibly strong-willed and determined. He's not afraid to challenge the status quo or to go his own way.
And he's not just being a jerk about it either. It's not like he's trying to make his parents mad or anything. This is a genuine spiritual yearning. He's seeking something deeper than what his culture, his religion, his family can offer him. He's actively searching for a truth that resonates with him on a soul level, not just rebelling for the sake of it.
Right. It's not about shaking things up. He's after genuine spiritual fulfillment. And that's why his decision to leave everything and join the Samanas is so powerful.
The Samanas, or like wandering ascetics, right?
Exactly. They were these dudes who were all about self-denial and meditation. They believed that by renouncing worldly pleasures, they could achieve enlightenment. So Siddhartha decides he's going to join them.
And his friend Govinda is just like, yep, I'm in. No hesitation. What does that tell us about Siddhartha?
I think it speaks volumes. Govinda's immediate and total willingness to follow Siddhartha shows how much influence he has.
It's like Govinda sees something in Siddhartha, something special. He's like, this dude's onto something, and I'm going with him.
Totally. He trusts Siddhartha implicitly. And then we have that amazing scene with Siddhartha and his father. It's intense.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a showdown.
Siddhartha tells his father he's leaving to join the Samanas, and his father is not happy. He's furious, actually. He tries everything to convince Siddhartha to stay, but Siddhartha just stands there, silently. He doesn't argue. He doesn't back down.
And that's so significant, isn't it? There's a question in the materials about why Siddhartha remained standing. It wasn't just teenage stubbornness. It was this powerful display of his resolve. He had made up his mind, and nothing was going to change it.
Absolutely. His silence spoke volumes. And his father eventually picks up on this, right?
Yeah. He paces, he leaves the house and comes back, only to find Siddhartha still standing there.
It's like he's waiting for his father to understand.
And the text gives us this amazing insight into the father's thoughts, it says. Then his father realized that even now Siddhartha no longer dwelt with him in his home, that he had already left him. So it's not just about granting permission, it's this realization that Siddhartha's inner journey has already taken him elsewhere. The physical leaving is almost just a formality at that point.
Right. He's already gone in a sense. And then the father's final words are so poignant. He says, "When you'll have found blissfulness in the forest, then come back and teach me to be blissful. If you'll find disappointment, then return and let us once again make offerings to the gods together." It's this bittersweet blessing, filled with love and maybe a little bit of doubt.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something else in the text that I found really curious, and you pointed it out in the questions too. Why does Siddhartha sometimes refer to himself in the third person?
Yeah, this is fascinating stuff. It gets into how we see ourselves, how we think about our own identity.
Right, and how we use language to do that.
Yeah.
So if Siddhartha keeps saying Siddhartha instead of I, what kind of effect might that have on him psychologically?
Well, one thought is that it could create this distance, this objectivity. It's like he's observing himself from the outside. And by doing that, he can maybe analyze his thoughts and feelings in a more detached way. It's a way to step back from the immediacy of his experience and see himself more clearly.
It's like he's trying to get a more universal perspective on himself, right? Like how the universe sees him without all the personal baggage.
Exactly. And then we have this contrast with Rilke, who talks about the ghost of a third person. He argues that this kind of detached view is ultimately meaningless, that we have to embrace our unique, subjective I.
So we've got this tension, right? On the one hand, there's the potential for deeper self-understanding through this third-person perspective. But on the other hand, there's the risk of losing touch with our true selves, our personal lived experience.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder if Siddhartha's doing this intentionally as a technique to understand himself better, or if it's more of an unconscious thing, a sign that he's already starting to detach from his old identity, the life he's leaving behind.
Right, like he's already separating himself from who he was.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to talk briefly about Govinda. He's clearly Siddhartha's ride or die. He's loyal, always there for him.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate sidekick.
Totally. And you raised some interesting questions about what their different backgrounds might tell us.
Yeah, Govinda's instant decision to follow Siddhartha suggests that maybe he was raised with a bit more freedom, or that he's just naturally inclined to follow a strong leader. Siddhartha's upbringing was very structured, very traditional, but he's clearly got this powerful internal compass guiding him. And it seems like Govinda's upbringing made him more open to following that kind of leadership.
So maybe Siddhartha was always meant to forge his own path, and Govinda was meant to be there supporting him.
At least for now, yeah. Their journey together is just beginning.
Right. Okay, so let's summarize what we've learned so far. We've got this young guy, Siddhartha. He's got everything going for him, but he's not satisfied. He's questioning the wisdom of his culture and religion. He's on this quest to understand the Atman, to experience it for himself. He makes this bold decision to leave everything behind and join the Samanas. And on top of all that, he's got this strange habit of sometimes talking about himself in the third person, which adds a whole other layer of complexity to his character.
Exactly. And we've only just scratched the surface. But these early stages of his journey are crucial because they lay the groundwork for everything that comes later.
Okay, folks, one last thing before we go. We always like to leave you with something to think about. So consider this. How much courage does it take to question everything you've been taught and to step into the unknown, even when you're comfortable and secure? What are you searching for in your own life? What's your Atman? And what steps, even if they seem scary, might you need to take to find it? That's all from the Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.